All right, guys and gals, today we're going to go over my boat front to back, let you guys know what I love about it and what I hate about it. Now let's go ahead and start with the motor. Okay, this is a Mercury 50 horsepower command thrust motor. And when I first started posting videos about this boat and motor, so many of you guys were saying, why would you put such a small motor on a big boat? And I totally get that. But what it comes down to is the size lakes that I fish and horsepower restrictions. My home lake is a 50 horsepower max, which is why I got the 50. Now you guys know the end goal of this channel is to move down to Table Rock and really start fishing that lake, fishing bigger water. So if that ever happens, you know, of course, we're going to upgrade this motor, possibly even get a bigger boat. Okay, so we'll worry about that when the time comes. But for right now, I'm still where I'm at in Illinois, and we'll be needing a 50 for a while still, unless you guys can help me blow this channel up, you know, with all the thumbs up, comments, sharing the videos. I truly appreciate that. If you guys are not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell, the way you guys are notified every time I pump out a new video. But anyways, guys, when I was breaking this motor in, you guys seen, which again, I'll link that video down below. But of course, water temps were cooler. Boat really didn't have any tackle in it, but it had a full tank of gas. I was getting 30 to 32. I filled it up today, so I have a full tank of gas. Of course, water temps right now are 85.5. Loaded down pretty good with tackle, and I was above 29. So still doing pretty good. And I said that normally I would probably run this boat with a half tank of gas. I went ahead and filled it up. I should have just put a half tank in there, again, just because the lakes I fish are pretty small. I don't need that much gas, so I probably still would have got, you know, 30, 31 with a half tank of gas. So again, I couldn't be happier with the performance, you know, with this boat and a 50 horsepower motor. But like I said, it is the command thrust motor, which really what that is, it's 50 horsepower, but it's got a bigger, lower unit, which allows it to turn a bigger prop. And again, I will link those videos down below. Definitely check them out. Loving the talents. You guys know on the tracker I had power poles, and I would have went with power poles on this boat as well, but the dealership didn't see any room for pumps. Now, that being said, Brian Latimer, he just got a 2020 Crestliner, and I believe he just put twin poles on his boat. So somehow he did fit 2 pumps in the back of here, and he did upgrade to a 24 volt trolling motor. So I would like to see his setup, which you guys can see in here. We're going to give you guys a quick shot, which I'm sure you'd seen in the other video. Gas tank, charger, 3 batteries, pumps. I mean, it's pretty tight in there. I'm sure if you move things around a little bit, you probably could fit the pumps now that I'm looking at it again. But that being said, I couldn't be happier with the talons. These are 10 footers, love them. The only benefit I'm going to say to the power poles for how I fish is when I have somebody in the back of the boat with me, it was nice to be able to bump the poles down the way they're not in their way. That being said, you know, this whole year I've only had, let's see here, my son in the back of the boat once and my dad. So most of the time I fish by myself, so that's really not an issue. That being said, the back deck of the tracker was much smaller than this boat. So there's plenty of room back here for somebody to fish and not have to worry about smacking the poles or smacking the talons. So again, not really an issue on this size boat. Okay, so loving the talons, loving the Mercury. Okay, no problem there at all. Back deck, you can see here, we're going to kind of go over some things that I really like and some things that I would change. Okay, give you guys a good look here of the back deck. Very spacious, plenty of fishing room. Okay, plenty of room there, guys. All right. Really, the only thing I would change back here, I would like to see some locks on these compartments. Now this one here, I don't believe I have much in it at all. Some paperwork, a couple hats, KVD line and lure, really not much in there right now. This one over here, again, I don't believe I have much in here either. Just a bunch of cleaning supplies, yeah, towels, everything I got from Peregrine 250 I've been posting a lot of stuff on Instagram with this stuff. If you guys want to see those pictures, definitely check them out. The Water Dog is the deal and removes all the water spots. The Raptor Wax, this stuff is awesome. If you guys would like to get a discount for them, you guys can call them up and mention my name. He will hook you up. But you guys can see there, you know, nice big compartments. Of course, again, I have all my cleaning supplies in there, but it would be nice to have some locks on these compartments. Let's move on to the cockpit area. Again, very spacious, very roomy. Right here, one of my favorite features of this boat. I love this little center storage box here. Connect scale, town remote, phone, some snips, things for my ram mounts, stuff like that. Just a cool little area for all your little accessories. A couple cup holders here. Now you'll see there's storage under both seats. You guys can see that there. Storage under both seats. I just got a couple bins under there. Really don't remember what I have under here. I do believe under this seat here we just got some CUDA tools and things like that. Okay. Now, one thing I would change about this setup, it would be nice if all these could open, you know, on one hinge. Kind of like I believe the Lumacraft is like that, where it's one bench or one hinge and it all opens up, so you have one big storage compartment. Okay, so you have the same amount of storage under each seat and underneath the center console. It's all open. It just would be more accessible if this all opened at once. Then you could lay, you know, your paddles under there, throw cushion, life jackets. I just believe it would give you, you know, better access to the storage that you have. Either way, you would have the same storage, just better access to it. So that would be one thing that I would change. Also, if you look here, I'm going to show you guys. I believe this section right here is perfect to hold a net. Okay, you guys can see that there. That's where I would like to store my net. Get a strap here, strap it down, right? But when you lift up the seat here, you guys can see, okay, it comes with it. So it'd be nice if like this section here was fixed in here, and when you lifted the seat up, you know, this part stayed here, if you understand what I'm saying there. That way you can use this as like a little cubby hole or net storage or whatever. So it's something else that I would change. But again, not a huge deal. I mean, you guys know how I am. Some of this stuff I'm reaching for. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this boat, but just how I am, you know, I look for things that I could do to make things better. Okay, but overall, I mean, love the boat. Ton of storage, ton of deck space. You know, one thing I'd say about this boat, especially with the glass console there, I mean, when you're in this boat, you feel like you're on, like, you know, a fully rigged out bass boat, like a big glass boat. I mean, if I didn't tell you guys it was an aluminum boat, you would probably think it was a big, you know, fiberglass boat. But again, I love the layout, love the deck space. I mean, the front deck, you guys can get a look at that front deck. I mean, the front deck is huge, guys. Okay, so we covered that section there. This little rod ramp here, I never use it for rods. Again, I fish alone majority of the time, but it's great for my lure retriever. That's my Ego lure retriever. I do have a video on that. And guys, remember, I did get you guys a code over there at Ego using code TJ81. And I take that back. It's EGO TJ81. Get you guys 10% off, again, linked down below, for their nets, lure retrievers, coolers, you know, tackle backpacks, whatever. You guys can use that code over there to get 10% off. But again, that works out really well for my lure retriever. It would be cool if they had a little cooler there. Obviously, you need to keep it below the rod locker there, but maybe come out 8 or 10 inches or so, and you could have it the length of that section right there. I think it'd be cool to have a nice little cooler, maybe a couple little cubby holes, little compartments to put dye and scents and things like that. But if that never did happen, not a big deal. I can bring a cooler. I just believe it would be really nice to have a little step there, you know, with a cooler. Loving the console, and I love the fact that it is, you know, fiberglass. You guys can see here, you know, I have my CUDA tool holder on here, which I do have a video on that, which I will link down below. I've got the CUDA tool holder on there. I have a ram mount here, again, which I use for filming. I have another one on this side here, again, which I'll put a camera on there. I put a YOLOtech light on there from time to time. So it is nice having a fiberglass console to be able to add accessories on. That being said, it would be nice, instead of having to put a tool holder on the console, if they would just use just a little section of the floor right here. I believe like the Rangers have a little section right here, you know, for tools. It would be cool if they would utilize, you know, that spot for something like that. Of course, you guys know that I did add the USB, which again, it would be nice to see something like this stock. But again, of course, I added that to make it easier for filming. Like I said, I have a YOLOtech light that I'll put on there from time to time as well. Just depends when I'm fishing and when I'm coming in. But and like I showed too, I mean, I got a bag under there right now, but like I showed in my original video, there is a ton of room under this console here. I'm about 6 foot, 220. I'm a big dude, and there's plenty of room, you know, up here for me. So I do love, like I said, the spot over here. Again, like I mentioned in my video as well, it's nice to be able to put rods on the side of the console. You know, on my tracker, I had to put everything on one side just because this side here was not long enough, and now you can lay rods along the console. Another one of my favorite features about this boat here. But guys, really anything that I'm forgetting, I mentioned in my original tour video. We're just kind of going over what I like and don't like about the boat and all that. Now, I will say here, I'm not sure who originally mounted the fire extinguisher. It was mounted over here, which was right in the way for the seat. You couldn't put the seat all the way forward just because it would hit the fire extinguisher. And of course, when you're getting in the boat, that's right where you're going to step. That was a bad placement for it, so I moved it underneath the console here. Again, perfect spot for it right there. All right, moving up to the front deck. I mean, you guys can see it's a huge platform, guys. Like I was saying earlier, you know, if you guys did not know that this was an aluminum boat, I mean, it really looks like a fiberglass boat. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles, plenty of storage, huge platform, front deck, back deck. Like I said, fiberglass console. I mean, you really get the feeling that you're in a big, expensive fiberglass boat. And you guys can see, you can lay rods all along that side to the side of the console there. I don't believe I have too much in this compartment here. I'll go ahead and show it to you guys though. We got in there, looks like 4 speed bags. It's a lot of weight there in plastics, life jackets, rod mule, throw cushion, rope, things like that. Okay, you can see it's pretty loaded down with tackle. I mean, zero organization to this compartment, but like I said, I got big plans for that. Stay tuned. But you can see there's a lot of weight in tackle in here. We got some JJ's Magic. We got in here a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. The Googan Filthy Frog. It's the new poppin' frog that was released a few days ago. Definitely check that out over there at Karl's. I'll link that down below. Spinner baits, buzz baits, crankbaits, a bunch of plastics down here. I mean, stuff scattered everywhere. MTB boxes, battle box, spinner baits, miscellaneous plastics everywhere. I mean, hooks. You can see it holds a lot of stuff. But like I said, I'll get that all organized most likely this winter. Like I said, I got big plans for all those Plano boxes that I did get, so keep a lookout for all those organizational type videos in the near future. Okay, one thing here that I would like to see changed. Now these are an upgrade in the Pro package, okay? But one thing about them, I mean, they're very nice latches, but they get so hot. So I'm not really for sure if I like those or not. I love the fact that they're lockable and all that, but plastic might be the way to go just because these get like super, super hot. That being said, this hinge as well, I mean, you can see it's a nice long hinge on there. Again, it gets smoking hot. So I can only imagine how hot that would get for you guys down south. But I normally land fish on this side of the boat here. I'm kneeling down, netting the fish and all that. There's been a few times where, you know, I put my knee on that hinge and I about hopped in the water. You know, it gets really hot, so I would like to see, you know, something different with that. I'm not sure if you can do anything with that or not. But I'm just saying that that long hinge exposed gets very, very hot. Okay, next let's take a look at the rod box, which again, I love the rod box. Tons of storage. You can fit a ton of rods in there. Okay. Now, if you guys can see the angle here of this lid, okay, I believe when they first came out, they didn't even come up that high. I want to say they were much lower like that. I do believe they made some adjustments to them. Now it comes up this high. I personally would like to see that at more of like a 90, you know. That way you could sit here on the deck and actually lean in there and kind of go through your rods. So if you want to do that, you more or less have to kind of bend underneath it or kneel down in front of it. So I would like to see this lid here go up much further. But you can see here plenty of room for as many rods and reels as you're going to need. I want to say with the 4 that I have on deck plus what's in here, you know, I came here with over 20 rods, and I'm sure I could fit another 8 or 10 in here. I mean, it's pretty deep, pretty wide. I mean, plenty of room in there. Of course, I got, you know, rod gloves on all of my rods, so I'm able to store, you know, a ton of rods in there. Nothing's getting tangled, so highly recommend those. But you have plenty of room there in the rod box. Give you guys a little better look in here. You can see just how many are in there. All right, moving up front here, recessed foot pedal, which I love. That's optional. If you don't want it recessed, it does not have to be. One upgrade that I'd like to see in the future would be if they could integrate some sort of tool holder and cup holder in the recessed tray. The stock rod straps, not a fan of these at all. It's a little Velcro strap. Could have done without those. It would be nice to have some sort of like retractable type, or even just your rubber strap with a couple eyes on there. That would be nice as well. But these here, yeah, I rarely use these. Not a fan of those at all. Of course, we have the 80-pound Fortrex on here. That's another thing that a lot of you guys are saying, oh, you should have got the Ultrex, should have got this, should have got that. You know, I got really what fit my needs, okay? You guys know I don't fish huge lakes, and I fish pretty stained and muddy water. I'm shallow. I would say 98% of the time, but I'm shallow like 100% of the time. I am shallow. You know, I'm not really any deeper than 6 or 8 foot. Majority of the time, I'm up on the banks. That's just how these lakes fish. I don't believe a motor with spot lock would have done me any good. Okay, it would have cost me 3 times as much, and I don't believe I really would have got my money worth out of the features, because I really wouldn't even use them. Okay, I don't see me using spot lock on the lakes that I fish at all. Okay, that's why I put my money in the talons. Okay, talons like additional probably $5 grand with the talons themselves, brackets and all that. So the couple grand that I saved on the trolling motor, I put in the talons. Again, I'm a shallow water guy. I feel a talon or a power pole is a must-have over a spot lock when you're fishing shallow, muddy water. Okay, you know, if you're going to be fishing 3, 4 foot, 5 foot of water, and you want to stay in one spot, you're not going to want that Ultrex or whatever the other motors are called. You're not going to want them on spot lock, you know, constantly stirring up the bottom, making noise and all that when you're shallow. You know, you're much better off dropping the poles, dropping the talons, and going with something like a Fortrex if you fish shallow water. Again, that's just my take on it. I feel I didn't have any use for those motors with spot lock. You know, again, I put my money in the talons. But loving the Fortrex. Again, that's an 80-pound 24 volt, and I get a little over 3 miles per hour. As you can see, I truly love this boat. It's a fantastic platform to fish out of. Like I said, super wide, stable. Decks are huge, tons of storage. I mean, I could not be happier, you know, with this rig. Truly love it. Like I said, the few things that I didn't like about it, I mean, I'm really reaching to be able to find some things that I did not like. I mean, from hot hinges and latches and little things like that, I mean, that's really not a big deal. That's really the only things that I could think of that I would change about this boat. Overall, guys, I am totally impressed with it. Truly love this boat. If you guys are in the market, I would definitely check this rig out, guys. I do believe you can put a 150 on here max, and I want to say it gets up in the 50s, so that's scooting, man, for a 10 boat. So definitely check them out, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. We will see you guys on the next one.